You know when you make a decision and it turns out not to be very good and you ask,
Why, God, why?
okay, maybe a bit less dramatic. You just ask yourself, why did I just do that? These are the type of questions that we will ask and answer in the new mini-series starting on this channel from next week called Why Do We? Or more specifically, why do we tend to do certain things? Some examples might include, why do judges give parole to about 65% of people in the morning, but almost to no one in the afternoon? And thinking about buying stuff, why are we so comfortable spending £1.90 on a takeaway tea, but consider extortionate paying 15p for a premium tea bag at the supermarket? And lastly, when you go to the cinema, why do you more often than not end up buying the big popcorn? Even if unconsciously you know that you'll be fine with just the small or medium portion. Find out at the end of this video. Okay, so for those of you a bit more well versed in the art of psychology, science of psychology. I am so sorry for that. For those of you a bit more well versed in the science of psychology, you might have guessed that these questions are actually underpinned by cognitive biases or heuristics, which are some of the things that influence how we act and how we behave. For those of you who are wondering, what the hell is a cognitive bias? Well, it's simply thinking in a way that in the grand scheme of things proves to be wrong. To put it simply, is an error in your thinking, which means it will be an error in potentially the way you act or behave. And there's two main things that you should keep in mind about cognitive biases. The first is that this type of thinking is very quick and leads to very quick decisions. That means that every time you deal with stuff that you don't really have time for or you don't really care about, this is the system that you would utilize in order to make your decisions. And the second thing to remember about it is that these kind of decisions are unconscious, so you don't really think about them. Okay, so overall, these cognitive biases or heuristics are just a simple way to make quick decisions, which are okay most of the times, but they could be quite flawed sometimes, which means that it could lead to bad decisions. Throughout this series, we would look at some of these bad decisions that we're making, what causes them, and more importantly, is there anything at all we can do about it? Or should we just resign to the fate that we'll always make bad decisions and we have absolutely no control over it? And lastly, besides our own decisions, what about decisions that other people make that impact us? And what about businesses? Are they aware of these biases that people have? And if so, are they utilizing them in any way to their advantage? Such as, I don't know, market, advertise and sell us more stuff? Or even more insidious, shape our choices and behaviors? All this and more starting next Friday. So if this sounds interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe and I will see you next week. Wait. Yeah, so the popcorn scenario. The reason why you are inclined to buy the bigger popcorn is because of how the choices are framed for you. And this is called the decoy effect. And it works like this. You have your standard popcorn box. Let's call it popcorn 1. And then you have the bigger popcorn box. Let's call it popcorn 2. Cinemas want to sell more of the popcorn 2 because that would bring them in more profit. Most people are okay with grabbing the small, medium-sized popcorn. So the question that the cinemas have to answer is, how do we sell more of popcorn number 2 and make more profit? Well, by inserting option number 3, the decoy option, which might not surprise you, that costs just slightly less than popcorn number 2, but value-wise doesn't really seem that good. And that's because by design is a bad choice. It's been put there to compare it against and see how much better this second big pack of popcorn is compared to it.